Now, the US Energy Department has concluded that Covid-19 most likely leaked from a lab in Wuhan. The agency also says the virus was not being engineered as part of a weapons program. Until today, it had said it was undecided as to how Covid appeared. Our data and forensics correspondent Tom Cheshire has this report.
Wuhan is home to two locations, two different origin stories: the seafood market and the virus research lab, an animal crossover and a lab leak. The theories have been dueling for the 3 years that I've been covering this story, from the very first days in Wuhan. One US intelligence agency has changed its mind and now thinks that Covid-19 was the result of a lab leak.
It would be nice to put to bed once and for all, because there are a lot of worried people around the world. Then and then only do we learn from what went wrong, if anything went wrong.
Most scientists agree that the virus's progenitors came from bats. In the natural or zoonotic scenario, the virus mutates to jump from bats to a third mammal, like a pangolin perhaps, or maybe directly to humans working and living close to caves. Eventually, it mutates enough to lead to an outbreak. There's some crossover between that and versions of a lab leak scenario. A researcher could become exposed to infected animals or pathogens during fieldwork or in the laboratory, and the virus makes its way out from there. Different US intelligence agencies believe different things. 4 of them think the most likely scenario is natural transmission, 2 don't know based on the evidence they have, and 2 believe it came from a lab, although not as part of a weapons program. The Wuhan market had a cluster of early Covid cases and had been shut down by authorities when we first visited the city in January 2020. It's in this market that authorities believe a deadly new strain of coronavirus emerged. But other early cases had no link to the market, and nor has any testing of the supply chains turned up supporting evidence. And then, in the very same city, a laboratory that had been studying bat-related coronaviruses, one where concerns over safety had been raised.
A lab leak is extremely unlikely. This is an authoritative scientific conclusion that experts from both China and the WHO reached after visiting the relevant laboratory in Wuhan.
In fact, the WHO has said the lab leak is a credible theory that requires further investigation and has asked China for its help. That help has not been forthcoming. Tom Cheshire, Sky News.